Hey there! I'm so happy you decided to come over tonight. It's been pretty chilly, and on these chilly nights, one of my favorite things is to cook a hearty, cozy, warm meal that just warms your insides and makes you super happy. And I thought I could cook for you, and in return, you could spend some time with me because it gets kind of boring, you know, when you're in the kitchen cooking by yourself. So, for tonight, I was looking through the Stardew Valley cookbook. I love Stardew Valley. I think it might be the game that I've spent the most hours playing, if not a close second. And I've always wanted to make one of the meals from this cookbook, and I just thought, okay, let's do it. Now that you're here, we can get it done. Motivation for me to actually cook it. Okay, so let's see. I love this little note from Grandpa. I'm not going to read the whole thing because I know you're here for cooking, but essentially he says, when I first got to Stardew Valley, I wasn't much of a chef, but with all the produce and everything, he learned a thing or two about making a great meal. And that he hopes that the same will happen to us. I really like this sentiment because I'm not I'm a home cook, I'm not a pro, so I kind of don't really know what I'm doing, but I somewhat know what I'm doing, but it's about the journey, and, you know, we're gonna go on this journey together. Another thing that he mentions is that cooking is a special way to connect to nature and to other people. Growing up, food was a way of saying, I love you, or just a way of showing your love to, friends and family. So I obviously very much agree with Grandpa here. So I'm going to turn the page to what we're going to make today. I know I've been keeping you waiting. Pages. This book is separated from spring, summer, fall, and winter. And I know that it's winter time, so we should make a winter meal. But we're not doing that, and I'll explain why. Okay, almost there. Let's see. We're going to go into summer. Summer. And we are going to make tropical curry. Tropical curry. Okay, very exciting. I watched another YouTuber make this, and I thought it sounded really good. And my cat is eating in the background. Well, we'll just let her eat. Anyway, stews, soups, and curries, just for me, cozy, delicious, and I want to make one, and we're going to make this tropical curry. So we're not going to do the pineapple bowls. Let me show you. I have all the ingredients set up. Let me show you what I got set up. Okay. Another thing, not every ingredient is going to be exact because, number one, I couldn't find everything at the grocery store. And number two, I like to change recipes to fit my tastes, and hopefully they're your tastes as well. But I will show you as we go through it what I've changed. Okay, so we have a lot of ingredients here. Okay, first things first, we have sweet potatoes. Usually, I think it said Yukon Gold potatoes, but these are left over from another meal that I made last week. and I don't want to waste them, so we're going to use these fingerling potatoes instead. Okay. And we have garlic. The cats are probably going to be making noises this whole time, aren't they? We have a lime. Some cilantro. I might have to give them some cat food, like some cat pate. All right, you two, you're lucky. You're so lucky. I know, you're so lucky. For some reason, I thought that the planes and the cars were going to be the hardest part of filming an ASMR video outside of my little studio area, but it turns out it's actually the cats. I am a huge fan of cilantro. It tastes very sweet to me. I could eat it straight. You'll probably see me load my curry up at the end. Just let me know if you're someone who finds cilantro tastes like soap. Let me know, and I'll not put it on yours. Okay. And then we have a yellow onion, a red bell pepper. Now this is a jalapeno. The recipe calls for Scotch bonnet peppers, but my grocery store did not have those. So jalapeno it is, and that is something in the recipe. It says that is what you can substitute. Again, yes, my fingerling potatoes. Have thyme, some fresh thyme. Fresh thyme. Okay. We have some vegetable stock. This is some coconut oil. I got it from a local grocery store, so I didn't want to dox myself. So I had to take the label off, but this is coconut oil. We have some Jamaican curry spice. Okay, that's not going to make a nice sound when we... Not really. Okay, but still. Some Jamaican curry spice. Now it says to go for some just regular coconut milk, unsweetened, but personally I really like a thick curry, and I want it to be like tikka masala thick. So it may or may not ruin the recipe, but I mean, I don't know, how can you go wrong? If it makes it it is unsweetened, but if it makes it too sweet, then I will just add more spice, and we will figure that out as we go. But I want a super thick curry, so coconut cream it is. Next we have pineapple chunks. Now, again, it's not the season for a pineapple, there was probably a pineapple at my grocery store, but I'm sure it was just very out of season. So, pineapple chunks. Now, it calls for ginger, for some fresh ginger, but in this house we don't judge. I prefer to use ginger paste just because it's easier. I like to put ginger paste in my ramen. So yeah, that's what I use it for. It's way easier than having to just chop it up every time. Oh, and lastly, it called for some white rice. It didn't really specify the type. And because I'm going for a thicker curry, I decided I wanted to go with basmati rice. Also because I love basmati rice. It's one of my favorite types of rice. I love it. So it's going to be just plain basmati rice, but yeah, this one I am a little worried. I looked up a few techniques to make basmati rice on YouTube, and there was one technique that looked pretty good to me, so I'm going to do that. But this will be the first time that I have ever cooked this type of rice. Normally if I need it, I will just order from the local, we have like a Indian restaurant, and they just make it perfectly every time. But we're gonna give it a try. Okay. I can't believe I almost forgot. Before we chop everything up, the last ingredient is the most important, and that is Davidsbeenhere pineapple guava hot sauce. I am a huge fan of anything that is spicy and sweet at the same time, and this hot sauce, I can't even tell you. It is my favorite. They sent me some new bottles so that I can restock. We're gonna use the one in the fridge up. But they sent me more so I can restock. So I repackaged it so that we can unpackage it on camera, because the packaging is just very ASMR. So let's do that. Let's do that. Ta-da! So we have these little just streamer type, just little plastic streamers. There's a little Davidsbeenhere card. I'll have the QR code on the screen if you are curious and want to get some for yourself. Let's take this. We're gonna get some sounds in there first. You can see, I'm just gonna get some sounds. Okay, good. Next, let's get some nice crinkly paper here. Let's put this paper here. Awesome. So there's two here, because one is the original flavor. So something really fun about these sauces. Oh, this is not okay. We're gonna look at that one in a second. So they're created by David Hoffman, who is the YouTuber behind Davidsbeenhere, but also travel enthusiast. He's always traveling. And created this sauce. It was inspired by his travels in Suriname, which is a country in South America. It's north of Brazil. And they make it in Tampa, and they sell it where he is. They have their own store. But here is the sauce. Isn't that such a cool package? I love the spaceman sort of look. It's just really pretty. It's quite honestly one of my favorite sauces I've ever tried. But again, I love the spicy sweet tropical taste, so maybe I'm a little biased. But I've been putting it on everything. So delicious. Now, this is, I would say, pretty mild. It does have a kick to it, but if you are I think they call them pepperheads or something like that. So if you love super spicy things, this one maybe isn't for you, but if you want the delicious flavor of the tropical, pineapple guava taste, but you want something a little bit more spicy, you can kick it up a notch with this one. Same thing, but instead of the habanero peppers, they have the Carolina Reaper. Now, I actually had to look up the other type of pepper that they use in this. I need to look up the name. Okay, so they also use Kashmiri peppers. Kashmiri peppers, I had never heard of that one before. And obviously they're pretty delicious. Now, I'm thinking if the coconut cream and the pineapple juice that I'm going to add make it too sweet, I might open up this Carolina Reaper one and just add like a dash or two to heat it up. But we'll see. This, again, it's mild, but it's not spicy, so this might be enough. Okay. So I'm just gonna cut these to some bite-sized pieces. Set them aside. Cutting quietly is a lot harder than I thought. Oh, and now my cat is going to town on the cat tree. They're usually very quiet, but they're probably excited because we're here. Try to be very quiet. I think I maybe found a method that won't be too loud. Potatoes are actually something that I add to almost every single soup, even if I'm not supposed to add it, just because I love potatoes. I was a little surprised by the double potato recipe. I almost felt like it was potentially too many potatoes, but we'll see. We are going to use all of these sweet potatoes. We are going to just use probably 1.5 because the recipe calls for 11 ounces. Gonna eyeball with these fingerling potatoes. Let's see if this is enough or too much. We'll figure it out. Like I said, as we go, we're gonna figure this out together. This isn't some recipe I've tried 100 times. Cooking this together. Now that we are done cutting the fingerling potatoes, I need to first peel these and then we'll cut them up. Normally I'm quite aggressive when I peel, but again, I don't want to be super loud. Might have to just peel off camera a little bit, but we'll see. Just try to be nice and gentle. Because usually you're just going as quick as you can, get it done. Into bite-sized pizzas. So, this is our yellow onion. Let's go ahead and peel it. You know, I'm very shed a tear when cutting onions. I think it's been years since I've shed a tear. And it's either because I use onions in almost every meal I make, and perhaps I'm used to it, or it's because maybe they're yellow onions and they aren't quite as potent as white onions. I did learn from some cooking show, I cannot remember which one, that actually the way that you cut your onion does matter. And cutting it like, I guess it was like what, lengthwise, like I did, can help it to, I suppose, sweat less or bleed less, to be less irritating to the eyes. And I have found generally that that is true. But again, I almost always use yellow onions when I cook. Very rarely do I use a white onion. Just because it's not like I'm against the other onions, just mostly that I cook a lot of pasta. And it just happens to go with pasta. And happens to go with this recipe as well. I love to try new recipes. I love to try new things. I have pasta like 2 nights a week because it's just my favorite food, really. It just goes with everything. Or goes with everything, I don't know. There's so many different flavored pastas that you could have. But also just like pasta itself is delicious. I almost decided to make a pasta for you today. But I decided, well, of course, this recipe I've been wanting to make it, so. And I don't know, like, just a nice, spicy, delicious curry. It's really gonna warm us up. So I think it's really gonna warm us up. Garlic is always my least favorite to cut, just because it's so tiny. So tiny, and I need a garlic smasher, or whatever, like garlic masher. I've just never gotten one for some reason. I need to. There are a lot of tricks to peeling garlic, but the one that I find works the absolute best is just smashing it with the back of your knife, and it comes right off, really. I've never had any issues. Maybe next time I'll get a cutting board that doesn't move around so much. In this little bowl here, so that it's ready when we are. It's super cute though. Little garlic shaped bowl. I love cute little tiny bowls for question mark reasons. Like, what is this little bowl for? Other for, I don't know, holding my garlic for, until I'm ready for it. But it's so cute. I love it. Let's cut our lime real quick. I'm gonna cut it. I don't know why I cut it that way. Why did I cut it that way? That was really weird of me. Why did I do that? Okay, well, that's alright. We're just gonna have some, weird slices. A little bowl to the side here that I'm putting all my little scraps in. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm just taking all of the scraps. It's also good to wear gloves for cutting peppers as well. See, that's just why I like wearing gloves when I cook food. I'm trying to slow down. Again, usually I'm just rushing through things, cutting as fast as I can. But I'm going to slow down because we're having a cozy evening, cooking a delicious meal. calls for 1 pepper, 1 jalapeno as a replacement. But I suppose if you want it to be spicy, you could always choose different type of pepper or add more. It had a lot of different substitutes, which was really nice. This red pepper will be the second, well, third, I guess technically. 2 potatoes aren't the same veggie, right? This will be the third veggie in our stew. Well, okay. I'm just used to when I make stews or, soups. What I do is I just add a ton of stuff, a ton of random vegetables, whatever I have in my pantry, whatever I have left over, I just add it in. And it generally turns out fine. So I'm actually really resisting the urge to open up my fridge and see what other vegetables are in there. At least, the first time I cook this, I want to make it relatively how it's supposed to taste. Relatively how it's supposed to taste. Let's go ahead and just grab. Fish. So I'll just see the one in here. Okay, it's looking relatively clear. I might be able to rinse it maybe one more time, but the recipe or the technique that I looked up on how to make perfect fluffy basmati rice has the rice actually soaking for about 30 minutes, which is fine because we need to get started on cooking the actual curry, so that'll be just enough time. Alrighty, let's get started, shall we? I haven't actually put, we're gonna go ahead and just take a good spoonful. Probably should check the recipe, but a spoonful feels right. Goodness. Get in there. Get in there. There you go. So we're gonna wait for that to heat up, and then we'll add our onions. So I was thinking, I have something that you might like that I think will pair really well with our curry. So once we get the onion in there and it's making, it's doing its thing, then I'm gonna get you something to drink. Even though you're too polite to ask for anything, I'm gonna get you something to drink, and I promise you're gonna like it. of the Wild mug. Well, it's not a mug, Breath of the Wild glass. It's my favorite. So I'm gonna have you use this. Okay. So, first off, there's this little Cuban cafe that is near the house, and when I go there, I go there for coffee. It's delicious. They have fantastic coffee. But every once in a while, we'll go there for lunch, or like a brunch. And if I don't, if I already have my coffee, I'll get one of their little drinks that they have. You can actually get it from the grocery store as well, but one of my favorites is their pineapple soda. Apologies, this is the diet version, but I like to watch my sugar intake with my drinks, but it's delicious. I think you're gonna like it, so I'm gonna pour you some, okay? I opened it off screen because the opening of a can can get pretty loud for ASMR. Sound, okay. So this is for you. I'm just gonna set this to the side so you can enjoy that, okay? Okay, now that you have your drink, we're gonna go ahead and add the peppers. Both peppers, red pepper and jalapeno pepper. We're gonna let that do its thing as well. A little bit of salt, a little bit of pepper. Alright, let's go ahead and add our garlic and thyme, and then we'll also add our ginger as well. Just add to my delight there. Okay, we're gonna add some curry spices, and we're gonna add some stock. Okay, I'm gonna add more later, but just a fourth for now. The pineapple chunks don't go in until later, but this is just where I'm starting to add lemon juice. It's an addition, so we're just kind of going with our gut here. We're just going with our gut. I added the rest of the vegetable stock, and now I'm going to add the coconut cream. Probably seem crazy doing this. Oh, that was interesting. Wow, sort of lit. I want to add some lime juice too. Now, of course, it's going to get thicker after we add the potatoes, but we're just going to let this figure itself out first. Get that coconut cream broken up. Alright, next we're going to add our hot sauce. We're just gonna like honestly go all out with it because why not? We want this to be a little spicy. It needs some salt. Okay, I'd say it tastes pretty good, so let's add in potatoes. actually also want to add a little bit more hot sauce because I want it to be a little bit spicier. Let's stir that around. So now we just wait and let it simmer. Let it simmer. Do its thing. And let it simmer for about 10 minutes. And then we'll go ahead and lower the temperature a little bit. I am going to go ahead and start the rice. You don't have to watch, because if it ends up looking not good, you don't need to see that. So I'm gonna get the rice started while this does its thing, because it's gonna sit for like 40 minutes after I turn it down to a simmer. So, okay, it's been going for about 30-40 minutes now. The potatoes are looking tender. I am going to double check. Now, something else I did while you weren't looking is I felt like it needed some depth, so I just added a little tiny bit of soy sauce, and I think that it helped so much because, I don't know, it's absolutely delicious. Oh my gosh, that's so perfect. That is so good. And the rice turned out amazing. I was so surprised. So I'll give you a close-up look what it looks like, but then let's plate this and eat, because I don't know if you're hungry, but I'm hungry and I'm so ready to eat this. It's definitely rather spicy, but that's okay because that's what I was going for. I wanted it to be a little spicier than a normal meal. And it turned out so perfectly. Like, the consistency was exactly what I was going for. Tonight is a W. Like, I am really excited for this. Oh my gosh. I'm so excited. And I'm gonna go ahead and put the chicken on top as well, but let's plate this. I'm just gonna pile it up. It's a lot of rice, but that's okay. Now let's add some chicken on top. It's not super aesthetic, but we're adding some chicken. Of course, like I mentioned earlier, I'm obsessed with cilantro, so I'm just gonna pile it on here. You can have a little bit too, just because, like, aesthetics, right? A little bit for you. Okay, before we eat, I realized as I was putting everything together that I forgot to put in the pineapple chunks, but I think that's okay because as I was tasting it, it was just already really delicious, and I don't really think it needed the pineapple chunks, probably because I added some pineapple juice along the way. But I don't know, I already think it tastes absolutely delicious. So maybe if I make this again, I'll add the pineapple chunks. But yeah, I'm so excited. I plan on enjoying it with you. So if you don't like eating sounds, thank you so much for spending some time with me. I appreciate you. But we're gonna go try our dinner together and just enjoy. We're going to enjoy our delicious Caribbean curry. Okay, so I'm gonna serve you yours. And I have mine. I'm gonna gave you 2 forks, but okay, I do want to add a little bit of lime juice. I love to add lime and lemon to basically everything. Oh my gosh, I'm so hungry. I'm very ready for this. I really like it. How do you like yours? Glad to hear. I was worried I was gonna have to maybe add more hot sauce or something, but it's really perfect. I think next time I'm actually not even gonna bother with the Yukon or regular potatoes and just put in sweet potatoes, because it's just so perfect with the curry spices, the sweet potato. Yeah. So delicious. I think the pineapple definitely would have added a little hint of sweetness. That would have been pretty lovely. But again, I forgot it, so next time. Yeah, I don't think you can have any of this. I'm sorry. Biscuit loves to sit at the table like a human, even though she doesn't get any human food because she has a IBD. She has irritable bowel disease, but the cat version. So she can't really eat very many things, including very many cat foods. But she does love to join us. Yeah, join us? Okay, I'm going to take a few more bites, and then I'm actually going to leave you to it. I'm going to let you chow down without me talking to you. But I have to tell you, I really hope that I'm able to do this with you again, because I just had so much fun hanging out with you and cooking. It's really just, I don't know, the time spent with friends and family is always really, really nice. Time well spent, as they say. So, I'm going to say goodbye